You're watching Meet the Authors, a program for the Alliouagana Festival of the Word right here in Montserrat. I am talking to author Jessica Gopaul. And Jessica, it's so lovely to have you with us.
Thank you. It's an honor, pleasure.
Jessica is from Trinidad and she has launched her first book. So I'm not going to chat too much. We're going to get right into it. And I will just let Jessica introduce herself and tell us a little bit about who Jessica is.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jessica Gopaul, and I'm from the island of Trinidad and Tobago. And I'm only 25 years old, and I've self-published my first book, which is a poetry book. And I have my bachelor in education, specializing in geography, but I always had a passion for literature, spoken word, and performing. And I believe that that was my inspiration to self-publish my first book today.
Okay. Why poetry? Why not maybe a novel? What drew you to poetry?
I don't know, I just love it. And like, even when I'm talking, sometimes I tend to rhyme. I just love poetry. And in my high school, there was always a poetry competition. So I participated in that. And all of the poems actually in my book are from high school.
Oh, so these were you wrote these before and then you compiled them to publish this book.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting indeed. How do you feel being that you wrote them previously, in years past? Do you feel as if they are still pertinent to today's world, the type of language that was used back then as opposed to what's used now?
Yes. Well, I think spoken word poetry is something that is being used today to
Mhm.
spread awareness in certain topics. And I think that it was all meant to be because all of the poems, they were combined towards abuse, awareness of abuse.
Mhm.
And I based it on the theory of self-actualization. So everything just worked out, all of the poems being in one book.
Nice. And I understand that you're talking about abuse and coming from a place of maybe being a teenager at high school and writing these things. Were there certain experiences in your life that led you to write that type of poetry?
Well, abuse towards the woman is indeed a deep issue that still resonates in society today. Abuse can be dated back to slavery, where women were abused and forced to work on the plantations. They were sexually harassed by the slave and plantation owners. They were forced into being concubines in exchange for their freedom. And today it still persists in society. Is it that because we have been conditioned all of these years into thinking that male dominance or women should be dominated is something? Why is women still being abused today? And when women are abused, society never supports them. They are defined by their past and those pain that they have experienced. And they are like walking vessels harboring these negative energies, especially young girls. And also the topic of self-actualization, becoming the best version of yourself. How can you become the best version of yourself if these things are challenges to becoming the best version of yourself? So I think young girls need to know their self-worth and need to know that their past do not define.
I like it. So we've spoken about the journey to get there, putting these poems together, but how did you come to compile them into a book and get to the actual stage of publishing?
Well, I made a goal that by the age of 25, I would like to self-publish my own book.
Mm.
And there is not a lot of information out there readily available for person to know how to self-publish a book. So I had to research. I found out from a librarian. I contacted Knowledge Library. So it was a little challenging process, but I got it all together.
Nice. And the name, how did you come up with the name?
Well, Annie. Annie was actually a poem which I did for my communication studies essay based on abuse. And I just stuck with the name. I made her a pivotal character in the book.
So Annie, do we see Annie going through different phases throughout the
Yes,
book?
as you read each poem, you can see her experiencing the steps towards self-actualization.
I think performing arts, poetry, spoken word, it helps the author to express and maybe to escape some form of reality, helping them express themselves and dealing with maybe issues that they might have themselves. But do you think that this book would help the reader?
Yes, because some readers they can relate to the experiences which Annie went through, and they could also find themselves experiencing the same thing and be able to come out of it to realize, wait, my past would behind me. I am with more.
Yeah, yeah. I'm getting excited to read it now because I didn't actually get a chance to. But for me and for the viewers, would you like to do a little something? Read us a piece of the book?
Yes, I would read the poem entitled The Sin. Now, this is a poem where Annie's mother would have been a victim to rape. And she would have hoped that Annie would not be a victim of it as well in the future. It is what society calls a generational curse. I am a sin. I am the outcome of the injustice that was done to my mom just when she was 16. She was a frail body tried to fight him off, but when he penetrated, she was devastated in her mind and body to know that a nightmare was awaiting her at 3rd Street on the left corner. When the news was announced that I was going to be born, her ego and selfish yet helpless ways wanted to stop my little heart from beating. I am a sin. I made her stop school at just 16 going on 17. I am a sin, my grandmother said that I was Camilla's reason for her dwindling low self-esteem and the reason why she had suicide attempts and wanted to forget about herself. Now I am born at the hospital. I was greeted with my mother's face drenched in tears of joy, or was it grief? Grief that her life would now be spent taking care of me, little Annie. My body so small and helpless, I cannot even help my mummy. She is now 18. I am now 1 year old. I creep. I cannot talk, walk. However, she weeps that I might be victim to the injustice done to innocent little girls. But the truth is, my mindset is on making my mother proud with a smile and not a frown, because she sacrificed for me and I won't let it go down the drain or burn. I am the sin that will return every penny and keep the tears that keep overflowing from her tear duct, because I am a sin with a mindset that will deduct my mother's pain and fright of me, little flower about to bloom in this world called society.
Oh, well done, Jessica. I am looking forward to reading your book. And thank you for being a part of Alliouagana Festival of the Word. When you wrote this book, did you think that you would be a featured author at a literary festival in a tiny country up the Caribbean chain?
No, I did not. There have been so many features and highlights that I never expected.
Yeah. I see more of that for you, and I wish you all the success. If people are looking to get your book, purchase it, how can they do that?
Well, currently it's available at a local bookstore, Unique
Mhm.
Bookstore in Trinidad, but I hope to get it on Amazon soon.
Okay. And can we just see the cover so that we're reminded of what this book looks like? It's Annie.
Everything has meaning from the cover. She was born on a gray, stormy day.
Okay, right. Thank you very much, Jessica. It was a pleasure having you with us today on Meet the Authors. And we look forward to seeing even more books from you after this marvelous
Yes,
debut. Yeah.
thank
Thank
you.
you. And we hope that you stick with us. There's more Lit Fest coming up right after this.